All right, you guys, this is the next onset that I want you guys to learn in George's course. This is called the wind and release onset. The wind and release onset is an onset that, among other things, first and foremost, starts with respiration. This is a wind and release onset. Hey! Hear how I came in with wind? Came in with like an H. I put an H in front of it. Hey! 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 All right? That's a wind and release onset. And the benefits of a wind and release onset are really quite fantastic. Number one, a wind and release onset is really great for releasing constriction and tension, all right, in the mechanism, in your voice, especially on higher notes. A wind and release onset will allow you to sort of get in and find your placement. Sometimes voice coaches refer to, we use a term that's called placement, and it's referring to sort of the position that your note and your resonance is sitting in regards to the upper vocal tract, where the resonance is sort of, well, it's literally placed and it's sitting to produce the particular frequency, okay? So for example, the placement of this note is E4. Hey! I placed my wind and release onset on the note E4, okay? That's what we mean by placement. And getting to the notes is, as we all know, it's not always easy. Sometimes it's difficult. But the wind and release is an onset that is super helpful in that regard. So let's just say, for example, you're singing a song or a scale and there are some notes that are difficult, okay? What you could do with the wind and release onset is you could do some hays, some haws, just come in with an H with some windiness into the note that's giving you trouble in your song. And what you would be able to do is establish the placement, okay? You'd be able to establish that position that you're struggling to get to. And once you can establish the position first, you can then build around it. You can then continue on to fix the problem in your song on that note. But if you can't even get to the note, if you can't get the placement, then you can't even get to working on the vowel or working on the energy or working on the vocal fold compression or cry mode or other things that you might need to fix that note in your song. So what I'm saying is the first thing you need to get to fix the note on the song is you need to get there. You just need to get there. You just need to get the placement. Wind and release is really great for that. Okay? It's a troubleshooter that helps us sort of go, okay, I'm having a problem on this note, so I'm going to get in with some wind to get there and then continue my effort to fix it with other things like cry mode, thinning the vocal folds, working on my vowel, my resonance, maybe working on the embouchure we talked about in the other video. Okay? So that's one of the benefits of wind and release. And a third benefit of wind and release is that because there's a lot of respiration, a lot of wind coming through the glottis on the wind and release onset, it's fantastic for stirring up and balancing Bernoulli physics, okay? Now, Bernoulli physics is the physics that I'm way oversimplified because I'm not a physicist, but Bernoulli physics is sort of the physics behind what happens when a fluid or a gas, and in this situation for singing, it's a gas. The wind is a gas, okay? So when a fluid or a gas passes through a narrowed passage, okay? When a fluid or a gas passes through a narrowed passage, what happens is some interesting physics. A vacuum is created, okay, in that narrowed passage, okay? So in regards to singing, the narrowed passage is the space between your vocal folds, okay? We call that the glottis, all right? So the space between my vocal folds is the glottis, all right? And with wind and release onsets, I can blow wind through the glottis. And if I get the velocity just right, what can happen is my vocal folds will close because there's a vacuum, sort of a, they kind of suck close. They suck close instead of squeezing the muscles. So the wind and release onset gets the Bernoulli physics going in your vocal folds, which then leads to the ability to get vocal fold closure passively without squeezing muscles. So you get the closure that you need, the vocal fold adduction that you need, without movements and contractions that can add to fatigue. That's what's cool about the wind and release onset, all right? So I'll do a couple for you. And you're gonna do this on all your onsets. You're gonna put a microphone in your hand, get to a keyboard, and you're gonna work on each note chromatically and walk up chromatically, maybe an octave or two, and then back down. And the game we're playing is the most perfect, beautiful onsets we can create, all right? So we're gonna come in with wind, and by the way, we're gonna have we talked about the embouchure in that last lesson, still holding a nice, perfect embouchure, match the pitch. Don't stare at the floor. Okay, here we go. Hey! 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 See how my embouchure? Lots of teeth on an embouchure. Don't do this. Don't do this. Because if you do that, it's going to sound like that. Get your lip up. Get a super embouchure, means super embouchure. Hey! Notice how I'm coming in with wind? It's the wind and release onset. Then I said, hey! Hey! You got to have fun when you're training your voice, all right? We're going to have fun in here. Hey! And then I said, hey! Hey! And true to the promise of the wind and release onset, as I'm having fun, you can tell I'm having fun. Part of the reason why I'm having fun is the wind and release gives me so much freedom. The wind and release is, there's no sort of grippiness with the wind and release. The wind and release floats. It sort of just floats on the wind like it should. And it's just fantastic. So I thought that would be a really good onset for you guys to learn in George's course. All right, so we got the track and release, the other lesson, which balances compression and respiration and creates optimized amplification of the valve. And we have the wind and release onset, okay, which removes pharyngeal constriction, gets the Bernoulli physics going so that you can get vocal fold compression without squeezing muscles, and it gives you awesome, excellent note placement for troubleshooting. Okay, great. Let's go on to the next onset, which is my special little friend, the quack and release onset.